So good evening everyone. This is Ankush sir and today we are going to start with our new chapter in geography, that is resources and development from geography. Okay, the first chapter in geography. I hope that you all are sitting with the book.
Yes.
Okay. So see, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I don't think that you are not aware of resources, because resources, this chapter was there in your standard 8th, I think. Okay, this
Yes,
it was the first chapter there in 8th standard in geography. You might have gone through that, and you have gone, I'm sure. So what the resources we have learned? Yes.
Sir, for 8th class, our first chapter is resources only, sir.
This is the class for 10th standard. Those who are in 8th and 9th can leave the class, please. Okay. Have you got better? Look at this. So resources is something where we use the things on our daily basis. Whatever you see around you, all those things are resources. All those things are resources. But they means, are they made up of their own, or we have taken some other help or the help of other resources to make them? Yes, we have taken the other resources as the raw material, and after that we have created or manufactured such resources which are really useful on daily basis in our lives. Are you getting my point? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, everything available in our environment is which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically, economically, and culturally. Now, while understanding resources, we need to understand first of all our needs. We need to understand the requirements, not the needs, but the requirements. As our population is growing day by day, the resources are depleting day by day. Our population is growing up, but the resources are depleting, right? So to manage or to balance such things, we need to understand our requirements first. Then only the resources which are available, those resources would be sustainable to our or into our lives. Okay, understood? So resources are available technologically in the sense, nowadays we are living in the digital era that has become the resource for us to access the things which are really far, very far away from us. Okay, technologically, using the technology, the resources which are available in technology, or using the advanced technology, we can access those resources very easily at our doorstep within within some time, may it be minutes or hours or days. Understood? So technologically the resources are very important for us, as we are living in the digital era, and we are taking every effort to become to create a feasible life for everyone, so that nobody would be hamper of losing something in a, okay. And even if we are using technology, so we would become more, it would become more feasible for us to get everything at our doorstep. Got it? See, so the things which are economically feasible. Now economically feasible, how do they are economically feasible? See, lots of things are available in the world. Some are costly, some are cheap. They are cheap, some are costly. Various people, those who are keeping various status of their lives, they are also living in the same world. So the resources which can satisfy the need of the rich people, the resources which can satisfy the needs or requirements of the poor people, or the people who are really need them, or the people who has who have the less income over there. Okay, less income people can also manage with the resources. Okay, so the thing which can be processed and it can be transformed into some useful thing, that can be called as the resource. Okay, and the things which are used there to transform them into the needful or useful things, okay, they are available in the environment. Okay, and while we talking about environment, so it is directly connected to the economy, how? Because whatever the resources we try to make or try to manufacture, we need to interact with the or go through the environment first. Because the raw material to transform into the finished goods, those resources would be available into the forest only. Okay, and to get those things as well, we need to use the technology. Okay, we human beings are very smart. While we see seeing that the resources which are available in ample amount, okay, at ample amount in the environment, we get involved into fetching such resources, okay, and we try to extract them using our brains, and our brains are being used technologically. Like if you want to cut the tree, okay, so you would not separately go there with an axe, and you would not start to cut it, okay, or just attack, not attack, but just chop that tree over there. It would not be done over there. Okay, it would not be done by you. What would you do? You would go and you would ask a person who really knows about how to cut tree, okay, with the help of machine, and that trained person would go and cut the tree over there. Okay, that is the human being is accelerating into the technology where resources are available. Okay, now one question is arising over there. What is that one question? It is given in your book as well. That question is, are the resources free? Are they free? Are the resources free in nature? What do you think? Are they free in nature? Students? Okay. So many of the people, they think that the resources are free gifts as we can use them in any way. But they are unaware of the thing that in which way they are using the resources, available resources in the world, they are going to be exhausted one day. And the coming generation, the next generation would have to suffer a lot due to not availability of the resources in the coming years, maybe within 20 or 30 years coming forth. Okay. So the people who really think that the resources are means the free gift in the nature, they are actually wrong. They are not free. We are paying for every resource. We are paying for every resource. Still, whatever you are inhaling the oxygen, to maintain that oxygen in the environment, the government makes us to pay the tax, so that the greenery would be maintained, the plants would be planted, and from that the oxygen would be generated. That we consider it is free, but it is not free. To maintain the greenery, the government makes us to pay the tax. Okay, understood? So it is not free like that. Actually, the resources which are first available in the form of raw material, they are just the transformation from raw material into finished goods with the help of human brains or human intelligence. Okay. In fact, if we talk about the human being, so human itself or human himself, sorry, is a resource. As we say it, human resource. Why is it called as a resource? See, it is means that human being is called as a resource because that human being works for another person or another human being with the help of his knowledge, his technology, his intelligence, his skills. Okay, whatever he possesses. Okay, those things are used in such a way that they become resource for some another firm. Okay, how is it? Let's just take example, one example. uh, let's take example from your area only. That is, what is this? Which company is this?
Infosys.
Hello.
Infosys, sir.
So Infosys is a company and it works in softwares, right? It works in
Yes, sir.
softwares.
Yes, sir.
You are well known for this of this company, that Infosys gives an employment to near about 1,000 freshers every year. 1,000 freshers or fresh candidates who are joining Infosys every year. Okay, I'm just counting 1,000. That number may be increased. So Infosys is a company. It is owned by only one person. That is, who is the owner of this company? Huh? Hello. Are you all there, beta?
Don't know, sir.
Don't know? Infosys is a company
That's
based in
something.
Huh?
Sunil Patil something.
Narayana Murthy. He is the owner of this company, husband of Sudha Murthy. Sudha Murthy is a great author.
Right, sir.
not writer, author. Okay, writer is someone who writes the scripts as well. That is also called writer. But the person who writes something different from others and his books are published, so he would become an author. So Sudha Murthy is an author. She writes for the people who are really deprived of all the necessities. Understood? So that is another case. But I was telling you how humans are working for human as human resource. So the people who are working for Infosys, they are human resource for this company. As the company is using their talents, their knowledge, their intelligence, their skills to grow the company. And the people who are working over here, they are getting salary or wages on that basis. Okay, according to the different skills and different technologies. Sorry, not technologies, but the skills and trainings. Okay, upon that, their knowledge, their intelligence, upon that as well, the Infosys company is paying to its employees, and those employees are the human resource. Okay, that is why it is said in your book that humans are also resources in themselves. Have you got it, beta? Okay, means,
Yes.
and they are very essential. Now how are they essential? They are essential because no other resources can be made or can be transformed into finished goods, as they would fulfill our requirements or needs without the use of human interference. Are you getting the point? Just take an example. Do you eat apple?
Yes.
Now
Yeah, of course.
you'd say, sir, what kind of question are you asking us? Right? So you eat apple, but someday you find it difficult to eat apple and you want that to transform that apple into the juice, so you need to go to the grinder, you need to go to the juicer, and will have to transform that apple, that hard apple, that solid apple into liquid form. Are you getting the point? Means the technology is used, the human effort is used there, and then also that resource, that raw material has become the finished good for the human being and for fulfilling the requirement or need of a particular human being. Are you getting the point? So human being, what do? Human being, they transform the available resources into the environment, into the finished goods, and they just allow the other people or other humans to use them to fulfill their requirements and to meet with their requirements and needs. Understood, beta? Now see, one pyramid is given over here. See, physical environment, that is nature, technology and industries. Means physical, the things would be available in nature, they would be cut down or take down from the nature with the help of technology, and those technologies would be used in the industries. Who is doing this all? Human beings are doing this. They are interfering into the environment, they are bringing the things with the help of technology, and they are making the industries to transform those raw materials into finished goods. Now this is something that we were talking about economically feasible, because in all this or all these activities, the economy is involved, the money is involved, the financial matters are involved there. Are you getting the point? Culturally in this, culturally acceptable means what? Many resources, for example, not example, but I would like to tell you one thing, that India is a vast country, and in every state, the state is having different culture of its own, and also within that state the people who are following different cultures, within every 10 kilometers you will find that the language is changed there. The language is changed. So it is the matter of culture. What culture is going on or what culture is prevail there in Mumbai that may not be available in Nagpur. What culture is persisting by Hyderabad people, that culture would not be used or would not be persisting or would not be followed by Bangalore people. Are you getting the point? Means the resources which are available, their uses are depend upon the culture or tradition, that what people want from that particular area. Are you getting the point? So resources are the functions of human activities. Are the functions of human activities means what? Functions of human activity, I just told you this one, that humans have interfered into the environment, and after that they brought them down with the help of technology. The technology is used in the industries and the finished goods are produced and they are used by the human beings, which those who are really in need of that particular product. Are you getting the point? Okay, so I think what is resource and how is it available in the nature, how is it extracted from the nature, and who is interfering into the nature, that all we have discussed here. Okay, are you all aware of the resource now?
Yes.
Is there any problem?
No.
Okay, see here one figure means 1.2 classification of resources is given. Can you see that? In your book you can see. Can you see that? Okay. Now classification of resources. Let us take second thing over here. Second means second topic here from resources and development. Classification on the basis of their origin. See in your book, the resources are been divided into 4 types. Like on the basis of origin, they are called biotic and abiotic. On the basis of exhaustibility, renewable and non-renewable. On the basis of ownership, individual, community, national and international. On the basis of status of development, like potential, developed, stock and reserved. Potential is something where it may be used in the future, that is potential. Developed stock, which are the resources which are used right now. And reserve, the resources which are accessible and also they are reserved for the future use. Okay, on this basis the classification of resources is done. So let us understand the first type of resources on the basis of their origin. So on the basis of their origin, we have seen here there are 2 types of the resources on their basis of resource origin, biotic and abiotic. So what is biotic resources? Actually the biotic resources are the resources which are having life, and they are living. Such resources are received from the living world, that is biosphere. This word biotic has come from here only, biosphere. Okay, examples are human beings, flora, fauna, fishes, etc. The things, not the things, but the available living beings which are available in the nature or environment, those all are called the biotic resources. What do we call them? Biotic resources. See, bio in what? Bio means what?
Biosphere.
Sorry. Bio means what? Bio means life. Yes. So, and that is why it is called as biotic resources. One second. Huh? So I was telling you that biotic resource in the sense where the life is existing, and those resources who are keeping life and they are living on the oxygen. Okay, they all are just transformed, not transformed but categorized into biotic resources. Okay, there is no rocket science understanding the biotic resources. Okay, abiotic resources just opposite of biotic resources means abiotic whenever you are adding a before something so it becomes non-living. It does not mean that every word which is having a in the initial, okay, it is not living or it is non-living, like that is not the case over there. So I was telling you that abiotic resources, those things which are composed of non-living things are called abiotic resources. For example, rocks, metals, minerals. Okay, but those are also called the resources. Though they are not having life, still they are called resources, as from those resources we can manufacture or we can create other resources as well. Have you got the point? Okay.
Yes.
Now let us understand what is the exhaustibility of the resources. Exhaustibility is something where गीले हो गए दोनों जाओ. Okay, exhaustibility means what does it mean by exhaustibility? Exhaust means they are going to deplete, means they are going, in simple way we can say that they are drying out. They are drying out. They are going to be finished. They are going to be exhaust, and there would be no resource if we are using those resources at this rapid speed. One second, better. Sorry. Now, on the basis of exhaustibility, we have first resource, and that is renewable resource. Now the name is in itself is suggesting that it is renewable, means once it is used, so you can use on the other time, means at the other time as well that resource. Okay, that is called the resource. So what could be the definition of the resources? The renewable resources. Renewable resources are the resources which can be renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical or mechanical process are called renewable resources. For example, solar, wind energy, forests and wildlife. Okay, these are the resources which can be renewed. But while renewing, again you need to use the technology, the chemicals and even some mechanical processes. Physical as well. Physical why? Because without human being interference, there is no transformation of any raw material into the finished resource. Are you getting the point? So these are some resources which are renewable, and if they are renewable, so they may be used. They may be used in different ways. Okay, after their first use. Next is non-renewable resource. What is non-renewable resource? See, beta, the board questions were asked in 2018, like classify resources on the basis of what is on the basis of origin. So on the basis of origin, you need to understand and you need to write these two things on the basis of resources, origin, biotic and abiotic. And even if you are writing answer for biotic and abiotic, so first of all, if suppose this question is been asked over there, so there is a need to explain first of all what is resource. Okay, give the definition for resource first, and after that you go for the classification, and you need to write the all the classifications over there, and after that on the basis of origin you need to explain biotic and abiotic resources, even though the question is being asked for 2 marks. Are you getting my point? Even if the question is being asked for 2 marks, students are, why are you not talking, beta? Why are you not responding properly? Just unmute yourself and sit somewhere else where there is no disturbance from your family members, please. This is my request to you. So whenever you are writing the answers, those answers must carry what means from where it has come from. Okay, from where it has come. Otherwise, what will happen if suppose the classification classify resources on the basis of origin, this only is asked and you are thinking that no, I will write, means you would write biotic and abiotic resources, so that would go like, means the marks can be cut off. Okay, understood? So don't write such short answers. Even though the question is being asked for 2 marks, you have to explain what is resource and its classification, all the classifications over there, and after that you write that resources on the basis of origin are as follows, and after that you write biotic and abiotic resources. Have you got the point? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, let us understand now what is non-renewable. The name in itself is suggesting that what is non-renewable resource. Non-renewable resource is something where it cannot be renewed, like fossil fuel, whatever we use today, like petrol, okay, or petroleum. One second. The fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, grease, oil, okay, all these things are non-renewable resources. Can you tell me when do we say that the resource is a non-renewable resource?
Sir, can you repeat?
Yes, when we say, or when do we say that the resource is a non-renewable resource?
When it takes too long to be formed again.
Yeah, the right answer is when it takes a lot of time to be renewed. Let's say 1,000 years. Let's say 1,000 years. Like fossil fuels actually take 1,000 years to be renewed over there. Okay, as whatever we are today using the petroleums, those are the petroleum, or those were buried. The things were buried under the earth, under the crust of the earth. Okay, thousands of years back, and they have now become the fossil fuel, and now we are extracting that fossil fuel and we are refining that, and we are using those resources or those fossil fuels in our day-to-day life. Okay, especially in the vehicles. But if they are taking 1,000 years to be renewed, that 1 liter petroleum is taking 1,000 years to be renewed, will you be able to survive on the earth for 1,000 years? No, you are not going to survive there on the planet for 1,000 years. And till that time, means till your lifespan, it is not renewed. It means for you, it is non-renewable resource. Understood? Okay.
Yes.
So on the basis of exhaustibility, why exhaustibility? Because one day they are going to be exhausted. One day there would be in the world would be the witness of this drastic truth that the resources are exhausted. This truth would have to be accepted by the human being in the coming years. In the coming years. For your kind information, I'm telling you. See, nowadays the population has been increased in a rapid way, isn't it? Within one house, let's say there are 5 members and 4 members living mother, 4 members are working people. So you will find 4 vehicles, different vehicles at home. Are you getting my point? What am I telling you?
Yes, sir.
So the 4 vehicles, if suppose average family is keeping 4 vehicles for per person, so there are a lot of families available in the world and they all are keeping the same thing. Means where the 1 vehicle is needed, there we are keeping 2 or 3. Only to why? Only because to save the time. But what time are you saving? That time which is going to be spare time in the coming years. Why spare time I am telling you? Because if there would be no such things which are now accessible and we are using them and we are accessing our convenient way. Today, suppose your office is 10 kilometers away from the home, from your home. So you just use your vehicle like car or bike or moped, whatever you want to, scooter, like. But means we are telling the people that, oh, I don't have time, I have to reach to the office before time, otherwise there would be late mark and all, blah blah blah, lots of things are there. But what would be there if the fuel is not available in the coming years? So that person would really leave home before 3 hours. Really, you would leave the home 3 hours before the time is exact time is there. At suppose, let's say you have to report your office at 9 o'clock, so would you leave your home at 6 o'clock? Would you really spend that much time walking on road? No, it's not possible.
No, sir. At least cycles.
It is something where we need to think on this, because the resources which are really exhaustible, they should be used very judicially, so the coming generation, means the sustainable development can be experienced. Sustainable development is something where what resources we are using nowadays or right now, they should be used by our coming generation. Okay, that is only called the sustainable development. Okay, did you get it, beta? Now let us understand the third basis of resources, that is ownership. Ownership can be individual, it may be together like community resource, and it may belong to the nation, and even it may belong to the whole world as international resources. See, all these resources were discussed in your 8th standard, but this time you are getting some vast explanation, some extended explanation of the resources or their classification. Understood? So on the basis of ownership, the individual resources, what are the individual resources? Definitely the resources which are belonging to you, only you. Those resources are individual resources. For example, do you live in your own house? Do you live in your own house?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is a resource, and that is a resource which belongs to your parents. or only a parent. So that is the individual resource for you, or sorry, for your father or mother. Okay, houses, land, wealth, shops, etc. Sometimes the commercial buildings and all, okay, they are also the individual resources from where the individual actually earns a lot of money. He bags a lot of money every month. Okay, those are called the individual resources where they belong to only one person. Okay, means these individuals, these resources may be called as private resources, private property. These resources can also be categorized as private, what we say, private resources. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In your book, the example is given over there. Suppose the government has allotted some land or a piece of land to the farmers on the agreement that the farmer would pay the revenue. Revenue means what? The tax to the government of for using that land, particular land. Okay. And in villages, there are people with land ownership, but there are many who are landless. In villages, there are landlords, those who are keeping a lot of land with them. And on the other side, the people who are really landless, they are working as laborers in their farms. In whose farms? Those who are landlords. Okay. Like ownership, if you get, so urban area, if you go in urban area, so you will see that the flats, I just told you, the commercial buildings, okay, their houses and even other properties, movable and immovable properties, okay, they are having a lot of things, okay, as they are also called the individual resources. Plantation, pasture lands, ponds, water in wells, etc. are some of the examples of resources ownership by individual. These are the things which belong to a particular individual or a particular person. Okay, means on that ownership, even the government cannot put its right. Okay, put its right over there. It cannot claim that even though the individual living in the country, so his land or his resources would be means just snatched by the government. No, this should not happen over there. As the thing is belonging or the property is belonging to the individual, it means it belonging to that person only. Means you will see the example of this while the railway tracks are to be spread. See what happened? You might have traveled by train, I would. Okay. And while you are traveling by train, so you will see on both the sides some barricades are means just take over there, and they are spotted there, okay, by the railways. That means that much land is reserved for railway expansion, but sometimes railway requires more land, and in case,
It makes loss of biodiversity, no, sir.
yeah, so in such cases, the Indian Railways can ask the farmers who are adjoining to the railway tracks to give their lands to railways. In this case, it is totally and wholesale authority of that particular individual if he or she is giving that individual resource or individual land to the railways or not. Okay, even if the individual is not ready, even the individual is not ready to give his land, so the railways or even the government cannot do anything against him. Understood? So this is the power of individual resources that owns, that belong to you. Community resources. Community resources, these are resources which are accessible to all the members of a community. For example, grazing grounds, playground, public parks, these are community resources where the community people, means the people who live in society, particular society or particular, suppose they are belonging to particular religion, so there would be the temple, there would be something else for that particular community, and they're having their own the control, okay, of that particular religion, particular community. So that such kind of things. Suppose the people who are rearing the livestock, they are having common land for pasture or to graze their cattle over there. Understood? So such kind of resources are called community resources. Now national resources. National resources are the resources which really means the name itself is suggesting that it belongs to nation. It belongs to what? Nation. So technically, if you think that technically, so the whatever the boundary is depicted by particular nation, and under that territory, whatever the resources are available, those are the national resources. Now let us take example. One thing you will come to know very clearly, you will understand what actually national resources. Again, I would ask you the question, do you eat apple?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm very happy to hear you that you eat apple and you like apple. It is very good for health. Now listen to me. That apple comes from actually in region where we are living. In that region, the orchards of apple cannot be established. Is it possible here? As the temperature is very high and apple is the fruit which does not grow in high temperature. It requires the less temperature. Even the minus temperature can be okay for it. Okay, but the high temperature is not required to grow the apple. And definitely most of the apple it comes from Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, Leh and Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh. Okay, from such hilly areas, the apple comes into the market comes into Indian market. So that particular fruit belongs to the particular state, but it is a spread all over or across the country. It means that resource is not only belonging to those people who are living in the particular state, but those resources are belonging to the whole country.
Until 12 nautical miles from our country boundaries. No, sir.
Yes, so it would not be like the apple. Those much apples would be used by only Kashmir people, only Himachal Pradesh people, or Leh and Ladakh people. That would have to be spread, and it belongs to the nation, and that resource is used by every citizen. Not every citizen, but the citizen who are able to purchase or purchase the apple, so they can have that. Just I wanted to tell you that wherever the resource is available in the nation or across the nation, that upon that resource, every individual is having the same right. Every individual is having the same right. Understood? Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
See the line here, the country can even acquire private property for public good. For example, all the minerals, water resources, forests, wildlife. Okay, many of the people are getting the government tenders, and those tenders are the tenders that the government is asking those individuals to grow the plants or to grow the fruits or do something else there on their private land. And the government even gives them the subsidy, allows them the subsidy, okay, while doing that, so that whatever would be cultivated there in that private land by giving the tender by the government, okay, that resource or that thing would be used for by every people or every citizen around that region. Got it? What is international resources? These resources which are regulated by international institutions. No individual country can utilize these resources without the concurrence of international institute. Concurrence means interference. Okay, and even we may say the concern of the particular international institution. For example, resources beyond 200 nautical miles of exclusive economic zone belong to open ocean. Means, for example, suppose this is the boundary, okay, Indian boundary on Western Ghats. Got it? Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
I don't know how is the head, okay, but I tried my level best. Okay, so whatever the boundary is here, as we all know that these boundary means the Indian territory or Indian boundary, it has the largest coastal boundary. Okay, understood? And from here till 200 nautical miles, all the things belong to that particular country. Okay, but after that, the resources which are available in the open ocean, they belong to every nation in the world. Have you got it? Okay, and suppose you have to use them, so you need to take permission of the international institutions. Got it, beta?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
till
sir.
this, okay, so till this we have seen the last portion of that on the basis of development will be seeing or will be reading in the next class. I hope you have understood the resource and their availability, and even whatever the what we can say the classification was there, it was understood by you. Okay, and I again request you, while writing answer for any question, that must be precise, and even one thing is asked to you, so try to write the related thing over there. Just I told you the example of biotic and abiotic resources on the basis of origin, but still you need to write what is resource. Okay, what are its classification, and after that you need to write on the basis of origin. There are two types like biotic and abiotic resources, what are biotic and what are abiotic, with the examples you need to write over there. Understood? Then only the marks would be given full. Have you got?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I hope you have got all the things. Thank you very much for joining the class. Have a nice time. Good night. Bye-bye. I will be uploading the video there. Okay, this recording there on YouTube. You may go through that. Okay.
Bye, sir.
Okay, bye.